Welcome in to another stitch tutorial. I will be using some scrap yarn and much thicker than I would like, but it's so that you can see what's going on. So I'm using a 6mm hook as well. And this is a two-sided pattern and a 1-row repeat. So, as always, we're going to start with a slip stitch, the basis of practically every stitch. From here, we're going to do our chain of multiples of 2 plus 1. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm going to say that is enough just to show you the tutorial. Of course, you make it as long as you need. Just make sure you put a extra 1 on the end. When you've got your total stitches, in the second from the hook, place a single crochet and single crochet right the way to the end. Now this pattern does make up a dense fabric. It's nice and warm, and even if using a DK, it makes for a quite thick, warm fabric. So this is absolutely brilliant for blankets, for scarves, for dish or washcloths. Sorry, I apologise. Sorry. Okay. On the end of your row, you want to chain 1. And that will be the same on every row. Chain 1 at the end and turn. Now here's where our repeat begins. In the next stitch, bring up a loop and then go back in between the 2 previous posts. Grab your yarn, pull it through, pull it up. You don't want to be tight. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That's it. Go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, pull up, go back between the posts. You're not going around the posts, you're going literally between. Grab the yarn, bring it through, bring it up, yarn over, pull through all 3 on your hook. Okay, now let me get a bit nearer for you. There you go. So you're going into the next stitch as if you were doing a single crochet. You're bringing that loop up, and then you are going back between the 2 previous posts, grabbing your yarn, bringing it through, bringing it up, yarn over, pull through all 3. And that is it. So into the next, pull up, back between the previous 2, bring up, yarn over, draw through both. So you're not completing a single and you're not completing a half double. You're kind of doing a bit of both, half and half. So you're going in, yarn over, pull up. Don't be tight, bring that loop up, otherwise you're going to mess yourself up. Back between the two previous posts, but don't go around them. Just bring that yarn through, bring it up, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Now, what I will say is, as you will find out momentarily when I turn, it starts by looking like it's 2 different patterns on either side, but it's not, because it does work up as looking the same both sides, but it also gets easier as to know where to put your hook. There's a nice little indicator when you've done your first row, which when I get to the end I will show you. So you're going in, yarn over, pull up, go back between the 2 posts, pull up, yarn over, pull through all 3. You can see they're all kind of slanted. In, pull up, in between the posts, bring up another loop, yarn over, pull through. And that is literally the repeat that you're going to be doing. Just make sure you bring that loop up. Okay. Now, with us being on the end, don't forget that corner stitch. And the best way to do that very last stitch to make sure everything stays straight is to just complete a single crochet. There we go. So single crochet on the end, and as I told you before, on the end of every row, chain 1 and turn. Okay, now here's where you will be able to see where you're putting your hook. It's a nice little indicator. If you look at these lines, they do stand out. No matter what yarn you're using, they will stand out, and they kind of direct you as to where you're going. So we're going into the next stitch, bringing up that loop, and then look for that line which is there, which means we're going to the other side of that line and in, drawing up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So again, in, bring up a loop, see the line, and you're going just to the side of that line. Bring up that loop, yarn over, pull through. Now, don't get eager, you'll get used. Into the next, bring up that loop, go back, see that line. I'm going just before that line, bringing up that loop, And that's it. That is the pattern. A nice 1 row repeat. Make sure you keep it loose or you can cause yourself a little bit of trouble. But like I said, this makes a really, really nice, dense fabric, even when you're not using chunky like I am. It's nice and it's warm. And it's the same both sides. So you see right on the side that you're using, all the stitches go that way. And on the back, you get these lines, which will then help you on the next row. So it is the same both sides when it's worked up. So let's just get to the end. And as you can see, strewn on the table, hanky markers. Just one style of stitch marker that is on my Etsy shop. If you're willing to go and take a look, I'd appreciate it. And heck, if you end up liking any, please put a little heart next to the stitch markers you like, because it will really help me in Etsy. And if you fancy buying anything, I ain't going to stop you. I'd really appreciate that too. But please go and take a gander. All feedback is much welcomed. So we're getting to the end now. Oops. Look at the line, Lisa. Look at the line. Go in between. I was too tight on that previous one. Bring up that loop. Up. Between. And then you see we have got one left, and you just do a standard single crochet in that corner stitch before chaining one and turning. So there you see you have the lines again. That will help you with where you're putting your hook. And then when you've made up that row, you've got your slanted stitches. So let's put in a hanky marker. I can't believe I'm touching a pink one. Why did I have to grab a pink one? Oh my gosh. And there we have it. A nice, dense, thick material, something to keep you nice and warm and snug. Give it a go if you haven't already. And if you have, tell me about it down below. What have you made with it? Hope you give it a go, and I hope I see you next time. So please subscribe, click the little bell. It's all free. And hopefully I will see you next week for another stitch tutorial. Take care. Bye-bye.